My wife was pregnant with Ariella, and they did an ultrasound on her, and they said, your baby has a condition called tetralogy of Fallot, which essentially means that there's a hole in the heart and blood was passing incorrectly between two of the chambers of the heart. And they called me and they said, we need to do an emergency C-section. So they delivered her. The doctor pulled Ariella out with just one hand. She was that small. She was 3 pounds, 15 ounces, and she was completely blue. And I thought she wasn't breathing. Nobody was speaking at all. I couldn't hear Ariella breathing or crying. Eventually, we did hear her cry, but they said we have to rush her to the NICU. When they rushed her to the NICU, they told me that they found another issue, another defect. Her esophagus had a tube going toward her stomach, but that was blocked off on one end, so there was no connection for swallowing into her stomach. The second part was her lungs were overlapping both her stomach, which means when she would breathe, air was going into her esophagus, and when she would swallow food or water, it would go into her lungs. She was medevaced to Miami Children's Hospital, and that was surreal. Surreal experience, because my wife was at one hospital and I had to rush to another. When Ariella went into the hospital, I think even that first night, I emailed the Rosh Yeshiva, I emailed Rav Boaz, I emailed Rav Natanel, Rav Citron, Rav Kolwasser, and Rav Mo. I emailed them and said, here's the situation. My Rebbeim said, what can we do? How can we help you? Tell us what you need, and we'll do it. Daven for my daughter, and then tell as many people as you can. And they did it through and through and well past what I could have expected. The next day, she did have that surgery. It was a complete life-saving surgery. You know, over this, what seemed like forever, 3.5 months of going through everything you possibly can imagine. And all the while having to remember, oh wait, she has a heart problem, which was going to require a surgery at some point in time. After, they had done a lot of these therapies on her and they'd done the different things of pulling out the air to where they said, okay, you know what, we think that we can send her home in 2 weeks, and then when she's 8 months, 10 months, 11 months, you'll bring her back to the hospital and we'll do the full repair on her heart. Well, her cardiologist was in the hospital the next day and said, okay, team, tell me what's going on. She said, okay, so we're looking to send her home. Let's do an ultrasound to do a check. So they hook up the ultrasound machine, put the goo on the thing, check her heart. She goes, nope, we're not sending this baby home. We're gonna do a surgery this week. I'm not a doctor. I'm not in the medical profession. I don't have any innate abilities where I felt I was able to provide assistance to her medical team. The only thing I could do was daven on her behalf. Davening was just the most obvious and easiest and most direct way to express ourselves and at the same time feel we were doing something. It helped in an extraordinary fashion, both with what we felt was direct Hashem answering our prayers and making her healthier, and at the same time consoling us. There were just nights where even weeks and weeks in, I would stay up for hours and hours and hours. While everybody else went to sleep, I would just stay up hours and hours and hours by Ariella's bedside, davening. And I pushed myself so hard just to be by her side for every second I could. And daven, that extra tefillah, that extra whatever it was, she made miraculous recoveries. I mean, truly miraculous recoveries. So, yes, it absolutely helped to the point where there was nothing else I felt I needed to do at all. I have a lot to be thankful for, and that's the number one reason why somebody should daven. Not because they're in a precarious situation, but because they have a lot to be thankful for. I had been giving updates to my Rebbeim, my friends, both via email and via Facebook, sending it out to as many people as I could. And we wrote an update on Facebook the day before. Ariella is going to have major heart surgery tomorrow. Please keep in mind her for the surgery, that it should be a complete repair, a full repair. I know that the Rebbeim of Lev HaTorah pride themselves on being accessible afterward, and it was proven 1,000-fold when I needed them the most. I wrote them an email, and they immediately took that as a call to action and got the Lev guys involved and the community involved. And so that was one of the avenues where thousands of people were davening for her. After that kind of 5.5 month period of time, she's been home with us ever since, which is a bracha, but she's still very susceptible to getting sick. Ariella came home, and then the real work started. My wife is with her every single day, and she does 6 to 7 therapies a week. She's now double her height, triple her size in weight. She's very expressive, and she gets very excited. Her arms and her legs move a lot. She loves music. Even when she doesn't have her hearing aids in, she loves music. A child requiring 7 surgeries, doesn't make sense, before the age of 5 months. So for me, it was, hold on to everything normal that you know. And the yeshiva being one of them. I can't thank them enough. I was there 8 years ago, but I felt as if I walked out of the base yesterday. I thank God I have Lev HaTorah. Thank God.